Charles Olivera versus Rafael Fiziev is set to take place at UFC Rio in October. And boys, this is some big news that just dropped today. Charles Olivera is actually having a really quick turnaround. I think 105 days to be exact. And I'm not sure how much I like it for him. I also am very happy that Rafael Fiziev is getting this big matchup. But before we talk about my early predictions, my early reaction to this fight, make sure to subscribe, dude. We're like 900 subscribers. We just hit 900 subscribers, and we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It would mean a lot if you just go ahead and subscribe, man. And yeah, let's talk about this fight because, boys, it is a certified banger. I'm really excited to be talking about this. I'm really excited to be here with you guys because, like I said, I didn't think we were going to see Charles Olivera return this quickly, and I honestly didn't think Rafael Fiziev was going to fight until maybe December. If you go back to the video I made literally yesterday night, I posted a video, and I said, Rafael Fiziev, man, I match made Rafael Fiziev against Dan Hooker, and I said, I think Dan Hooker versus Rafael Fiziev would be a good fight. I don't think Rafael Fiziev's ranking exactly shows where he is. You know, I think Rafael Fiziev is better than his ranking shows, and Rafael Fiziev is actually just someone who can make a big impact in the top 5. And I believe I said Rafael Fiziev can beat Charles Olivera, and just a day later, this fight got made. So it's pretty crazy, but we are here, and the Muay Thai exchange is in this fight, brother. Oh, I just can't wait to see this fight. This is a dream fight, man. I've talked about this fight for years, man, and I'm so excited that we're going to see it today. And obviously, we'll start off with the all obvious. We're going to address the elephant in the room. Charles Olivera, he is coming off a very bad KO loss to Ilia Topuria just like not even 2 months ago. Meanwhile, Rafael Fiziev is riding some hype. He just beat Ignacio Bahamondes. Before that, he realistically hadn't fought in a while. I don't think he fought all of 2024. And 2023, he had that injury against Gamrot, and obviously he lost to Gagey. But does that Gagey loss really count, dude? The kid took that on short notice, and he honestly was piecing up Gagey some moments. He had him in that weird reverse triangle, and I think Rafael Fiziev scrambles mixing up with Charles Olivera's jiu-jitsu. This is gonna prove to be an absolute banger, man. This is gonna be a certified banger. And for some reason, my early prediction, I think to this fight, who I think gonna win it, my earliest thing that I think to, Rafael Fiziev TKO, Rafael Fiziev head kick. Charles Olivera is one of those guys who's been chinny his entire career. He's been knocked down by Gagey. He's been knocked down by Poirier. He's been knocked down by Chandler. And I seriously do think that his chin is going to be impacted after that Ilia Topuria loss. I know a lot of people say that. I know a lot of times you're going to hear guys who got knocked down once their last fight. People are going to say, oh man, their chin's cracked. They're not the same. But I honestly am really serious when I say I believe Charles Olivera's chin is cracked. And with him taking this fight on pretty much short notice, I mean 2 months notice after getting chinned a month ago, it's not going to end good, dude. It's not going to end good, especially like a crafty striker like Rafael Fiziev, who's going to be throwing in elbows, who's going to be working the clinch, who's going to be able to just mix it all up with head kicks and all of that. He has brilliant takedown defense. Charles Olivera is going to struggle a lot in this fight. Charles Olivera, I don't know if Charles Olivera, this was Charles Olivera before the Ilia Topuria fight, I would probably favor him. But now after this, dude, I think Rafael Fiziev is just the better fighter as of right now. That might be a hot take. I think Rafael Fiziev is one of those guys who's always been underrated in his UFC career, and the momentum says Rafael Fiziev. The momentum is not on Charles Olivera's side. I'm really excited for this fight. UFC Rio is looking like it's going to be a banger, guys. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I was just originally going to put out my Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze prediction video today, but then the UFC announced this out of literally nowhere, by the way. I mean, who would have thought like we would be getting this matchup out of all the matchups in the division? I believe it is because Max Holloway is injured. He had a hand injury, whatever. But still, yeah, you guys got scammed. I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for this fight. Man, you got to stay now. You're already here, man. Just stay. And it's a pretty bad, I mean, I won't say bad, it's a mediocre Apex card. I feel like I say that every Apex we're in because Apex cards are just mediocre. That's just a simple way to put it. And this card is just that, man. I mean, obviously in the co-main event, we were supposed to get Steve Erceg versus Alex Perez. Alex Perez pulled out. Then we had a couple replacement opponents, and now we are set on Ode Osbourne. So I'll start off by talking about Steve Erceg versus Ode Osbourne. I didn't really make a graphic for it because I'm going to be really quick when I talk about this fight. The main point I want to touch on for Steve Erceg versus Ode Osbourne is the absolute similarities between Steve Erceg and Dominic Reyes, guys, because Ode Osbourne is the Ryan Spann. The similarities are too close, dude. Both Steve Erceg and Dominic Reyes go to a close decision to the then champion. Then they face another contender. They get knocked out that next fight. Then they face another good contender and lose that fight pretty decisively. And now they take a fight short notice against someone who's just not that good in Ode Osbourne. And Steve Erceg gets chinned. I think the cycle of Dominic Reyes has been completely recycled by the UFC script writers, so just not very good script writing from the UFC headquarters. But still, I hope Steve Erceg can win. I think Steve Erceg I think he has the ability to win. I think Steve Erceg, just a domination of 50-40 or 30-27, maybe even a finish over Ode Osbourne, could put him right back into the top 5 maybe. And don't get me wrong, Ode Osbourne, I do believe Ode Osbourne is a tricky customer, man. A lot of people don't really know this guy, and he's realistically on like a 2-fight winning streak. He won his last 2 fights. I don't care. He was robbed against Ronaldo Rodriguez, but Ode Osbourne's a tricky customer, similar to Manel Kape, just all the angles this guy's going to be throwing punches from. Really quick, really precise striker. And it's a hard matchup for Steve Erceg, but Steve Erceg, lock in, brother, because we can't be having you on a 4-fight losing streak in the Big 25. But now let's talk about what you guys see on screen. Anthony Hernandez, my prospect, my biggest prospect. Play the clip of me celebrating when this guy beat Brendan Allen.
3 rounds. We go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner. By unanimous decision,
Yes! 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 Yes, baby, come on! Yeah, as you guys can see, I was screaming, I was jumping for joy when this guy beat Brendan Allen, and I hope I'm going to be doing the same when this guy beats Roman Dolidze. You know, when this fight first got announced, I was actually very disappointed. I was very, very sad. I was thinking the UFC could give Anthony Hernandez a much bigger fight than Roman Dolidze. I was thinking the UFC might give Anthony Hernandez a Whittaker or a Cannonier. Obviously, that did not come to fruition. And we have this fight. We're here. And I think that Anthony Hernandez is Kabib 2.0. I just want to put that out there. I am so high on Anthony Hernandez. I think Anthony Hernandez is one of the biggest and the best prospects in the UFC as of right now. I think he's just riding the momentum. He's on an 8-fight winning streak. And Roman Dolidze, you're good and all, but you lost to Imavov not too recently. The guys you're beating aren't that good. Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen, or not Brendan Allen, Kevin Holland. The guys you're beating, they're not that good at the end of the day. And I honestly just can't rate you that highly. I still think of this guy as someone who's in the top 10, and there's zero chance this guy breaks into the top 8 even, but somehow he's 1 fight away. Listen, kid, you're not gonna get into the top 5. You're not gonna break into the top 8 because you're facing Anthony Hernandez, and when you're facing Anthony Hernandez, someone who is as good as he is, I think it's just raps for you, brother. Because for me, a lot of people's first impressions of Anthony Hernandez were in that Brendan Allen fight back at UFC Seattle. And Anthony Hernandez, if you don't know, he went into that fight with he was sick the whole camp leading up to it. He was sick. He was just not in a good mental state. And he didn't look good. You know, he got the win over Brendan Allen, but he just did not look that good. He looked slow, and he actually gassed out, which, if you guys actually know Anthony Hernandez, you know that is just not true, brother. This guy doesn't gas out. He is Kabib 2.0, and that is something I want to touch on. He was really sick. I think he had something with his immune system going on last year. He was on antibiotics, and that's why he was gassed out. He just didn't look that good. But this fight, brother, I guarantee you Anthony Hernandez's cardio is going to be back to being elite. His cardio is insane. And for going against a guy like Roman Dolidze is going to start off strong. But his cardio will fade. You know, at the end of the day, he noticeably slows down by the second round, especially in high-paced fights. And, brother, Anthony Hernandez is a really high-volume striker. Dude, I think that Roman Dolidze, he's got one of those big frames, and I honestly don't think that's going to benefit him realistically at all in this fight. That big frame is just going to slow him down. He's not going to be explosive, and Roman Dolidze is just, he's inefficient over like a 25-minute fight. This is a 5-round fight, you got to remember, and at the end of the day, in that Marvin Vettori fight, he was slowing down. Marvin Vettori was like piecing this guy up in that 5th round, and you got to acknowledge that, dude. I mean, Anthony Hernandez has relentless gas take in volume, especially in these high grapple heavy fights, brother. And his ground and pound, don't even get me started on Anthony Hernandez's ground and pound. It is elite, brother. And when he does get to the ground, because that is a fact, Anthony Hernandez will get this fight to the ground. It's going to be complete wraps for Roman Dolidze. It is going to be over for Roman Dolidze because, brother, this guy's takedown defense, brother, check this guy grappling, brother. His takedown defense is 33%. That is what is listed on the UFC's website. He struggles to stop takedowns, dude. That's just the fact at the end of the day, dude. Against fighters like Marvin Vettori, Trevin Giles, he got taken down multiple times, brother, multiple times, and he was pressured very heavily. I think Imavov even got a couple takedowns on him. And Anthony Hernandez, dude, if you know anything about this Anthony Hernandez kid, he is averaging 6+ takedowns per 15 minutes, dude, with like 15 takedown attempts per fight. And I think Fluffy, he just has to constantly shoot takedowns. He has to mix in that clinch work, and he has to just out volume Roman Dolidze. You know, Roman Dolidze, he has some crafty little leg kicks. I'll give him that. And that is honestly the only thing that fears me in this fight. I am really just feared for Anthony Hernandez because the thing is, dude, he has a bit of a pot belly, brother. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to sit here and deny that my king, Anthony Hernandez, he's kind of fat, man. He's kind of got a big belly. And if Roman Dolidze is able to use the teep kicks to his advantage, he could gas out Anthony Hernandez. He could hurt him to the body and even finish him early. But realistically, dude, on the feet, I think Anthony Hernandez still has the advantage. I think Dolidze he's too flat-footed, brother. He's really flat-footed. Anthony Hernandez actually has some decent leg kicks, dude. Anthony Hernandez he's gonna press forward. He's gonna cut the cage, dude. He's gonna fake some level changes. He has a nice overhand when he's pressuring that takedown. When he gets you thinking about the takedown, he's gonna throw a ballistic overhand, dude. And Roman Dolidze striking is just decent, brother. Like I said, it's just a 1-2 body kick, and he could get the body kick at the end of the day, but I just don't think so, man. I don't think so. And like I said, on the ground, Roman Dolidze is just going to be absolutely lost. I know he's a solid grappler offensively, but his defensive grappling is just not that good, dude. He can be controlled, and he will be flattened out. And at the end of the day, I think Anthony Hernandez is just going to marauder max his way to a win over Roman Dolidze. It's not going to be good. It's going to be a 50-45 decision, most likely, boys. And if I say this and I see Anthony Hernandez get finished by body kick, that will be the only way he loses this fight. If it's a fluke body kick or maybe a fluke KO, which I just don't think is likely, Roman Dolidze doesn't really have power, but Anthony Hernandez will not lose this fight by decision. There's zero chance he loses this fight by decision. If this goes to the scorecards, Anthony Hernandez will win this fight. And yeah, man, that's my prediction for this week's UFC Apex card. Like I said, it's a mediocre card, so try to enjoy it, man. Maybe binge watch some of my videos. And like I said before, subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I'll see you guys in the next one. MMA Outpost out.